Is this the car that will take Volkswagen's transition to fully electric vehicles to the next level? This is the ID.7, a full-size sedan from Volkswagen. And you are watching It's Only Electric, and this is my full review of the Volkswagen ID7 Pro. Let's start. Full-size sedan with a wheelbase of 3 meters. It's a big car, weighs in at just under 2.2 tons. So this is the newly developed drivetrain built on the MEB platform called MEB Plus. So a more efficient and a more powerful motor delivering 286 horsepower, 545 Newton meters of torque. Rear wheel drive only. There will be 4-wheel drive versions coming soon. So this power is more than enough and will take the car from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.5 seconds with a top speed of 180 kilometers per hour. Extra equipped with 20-inch rims, staggered setup, 255s at the back and 235s at the front. A bit anonymously designed front of the car, especially in this aquamarine blue combination with the black accents, hides the details a little bit. A big Volkswagen logo here in the front. Front-facing camera for park assist functionality, a radar and USS sensors all around the car. This case equipped with the IQ Matrix LED lights. And what you see here is the daylight running lights on and a light bar going through the whole frontal area of the car. Equipped with a smaller battery pack with a gross capacity of 82 kilowatt hours and a net capacity of 77. It is a NMC battery, so not recommended to charge it to 100%. Full range, 621 kilometers of WLTP. With this 20-inch rims, it drops down to 596 kilometers. When it comes to charging, it has a fast charging capacity of 170 kilowatts, DC charging 10 to 80% in 30 minutes, home charging, AC charging 11 kilowatts and 3-phase support. So the anonymous design also goes through the back end of the car. IQ lights with a light bar going through the whole back end, LED lights of course. Cool feature, when seeing it from the side, it's a multi-layered LED design. Looks really nice. A hidden brake light at the top. And this is a hatchback opening. That's really good, adds a lot of practicality. We will look into the boot very soon. Backup camera with a built-in washer. You press it on the screen and the camera gets tidy and clean. A powered liftgate, a total storage capacity of 532 liters, foldable seats split into 2 parts, 30 and 70, with a small ski latch in the middle for storing skis and long things. A multi-layer floor, so you can stow this away, lower it 1 level for some extra practicality. And on top of that, a deep pocket underneath here. You also find a subwoofer if you are running the bigger sound system from Harman Kardon. This kind of parcel shelves is not my favorite because they are always in the way when you want to load things. The good thing in this case is that it's possible to store underneath the first level of floor. Hide it away, just forget it. Another practical aspect of the ID7 is that you can equip it with a tow hitch. There is a lever for it here, manual tow hitch with a tow capacity of 1,000 kilograms. Or 1 ton. Other convenient features is a 12-volt outlet. The seats are foldable with a lever here on both sides for the left and right side. Cargo securing hooks at the front, here at the rear, and a cargo net for securing your cargo. Always good to have. So all in all, a really practical sedan. It's time for checking out the back seat. And now the front seat is adjusted after my driver position. And I'm 193 centimeters tall or 6'4". And as you see, there is enough of leg room. My knees are not touching the front, even if it's like 4 or 5 fingers from it. My feet is possible to squeeze in underneath the front seat. It's a bit cramped, but still good. Both leg room and room for your foot in the footwells. When it comes to the headroom, it's not as good as the legroom. When I stretch out and lean backwards, I actually feel the headliner and have one finger at most before touching the headliner actually. So not as good. I mean, the sloping roofline of the sedan is really punishing the people in the back in this case. Otherwise, when it comes to the back seat, I like the comfort of the seats. Two sturdy rear positions. The one in the middle does not look so nice to sit in because you have these blue accents, and a bit of a raised part here in the middle will not make travel in the mid seat that convenient. But the two outer positions feels good, and the perforated seats looks good and feels good. Also in the back, a bit of a straight seating position, not adjustable in this case. And here in the middle we have a armrest with two cup holders, one very small, one semi-small, and one micro cup holder. I don't know, this seems to be more like a shot holder for shots. This ski latch is openable from here, and that's good, and adding some practical aspects to the car. The mid console consists of two manual adjustable air vents, one for each rear passenger. Underneath there you have two controls for each seat heater at the two outer positions. In between there is a small screen where you can adjust the temperature for the third climate zone here at the rear. Underneath, two USB-C ports. Otherwise there is two pockets for storing a phone and small things, and a bigger pocket in the lower part of the rear backrest. Let's look at the materials and the quality here at the back seat. The good thing is that Volkswagen has chosen for the ID.7 to go for the same materials as in the front seat. That's always good. I like when they do it that way. And soft touch here at the top follows down all the way down to the ambient lighting. Underneath the ambient lighting there is kind of an inlay, fabric inlay, almost nubucky feeling. Feels good. Cushioned armrests, sturdy built. The lower part is hard plastic, and you have nice and good storage for storing bottles and things here at the bins. So all in all, good quality here at the back seat. The ambient lighting works and looks really good. You can choose between 30 different colors, and that's extra equipment, the kind of interior plus package. I'm not really sure about the pattern on top of the ambient lighting. This one more or less reminds me of the floor mats on Munich airport. Feels a bit old. They could have gone for something more easygoing, like a straight line. Why not a straight line? Or just skip the lines and let the lighting go down as it does here. That should have been more than enough. Another nice feature here at the back is the big panoramic glass roof. In this case, not openable, but gives the rear passenger a nice view and a nice airy cabin. No built-in sunshade in this case, but the cool thing is that the glass can be controlled from the front. You press the button at the top and it gets dimmed and protects you from the sun. Real nice feature, and that goes immediately, like 1 second, and it turns very grayish or cloudy. You press it again and it gets a lot lighter. The interior as such is where you really feel that this is a notch up from the current lineup, from the ID.3, ID.4 and ID.5. The interior quality is a lot better. It feels a lot more premium. Let's start with the dashboard as such. Soft touch rubberized materials here at the top. Really nicely incorporated and built in head-up display. And by the way, this is one of the best head-up displays in the world. I earlier mentioned that I really like Mercedes head-up display. This is on par with that one. The ID light going through the whole frontal part. I have missed that one on the updated ID.3 version. It's really filling a gap and adding to the tech and the usability of the car. Underneath here, totally digital ventilations, All ventilations are digital here at the front. You cannot adjust it with your hands manually. You do it from the screen. I mean, it gives the car a better, more sophisticated look, but it is a bit more user unfriendly compared to using a manual switch. But I guess that's okay because I like the looks of it. And this part is also soft touch, kind of a leatherette with nice blue stitching here going through the whole frontal part. Underneath there is the ambient lighting panel with this Munich floor mat design. So to one of the best updates yet, and that's the screen. Very sturdy 15-inch screen, nice looking bezels around, premium feeling to the screen, nice brightness, nice colors, and a really cool and necessary addition is the backlighting of the buttons underneath the screen for controlling the sliders, for controlling the volume of the sound system and the two climate zones, the temperatures. That is a great addition, and I have been missing that. That's one of the biggest flaws on the older cars. The 15-inch screen is companioned by a small instrument cluster, and instead of having that instrument cluster on the steering column, they have now placed it built in to the dashboard really nicely, almost as high as the ventilation part here. It's a 5-inch screen, just enough, and that together with the head-up display makes the driving experience really nice and tidy. Only one physical button underneath the screen, and that's the hazard lights. But I missed the drive mode selector. That's from now on top of the screen here at the control panel. So this is the only physical button here at the lower part. Underneath the ventilation and the hazard lights, you have kind of a floating mid console, sturdy built, nice quality. Hidden storage underneath, 2 compartments. The frontal compartment hides 2 USB-C ports, 1 Qi charger, and the Qi charger does not work with my phone. Doesn't seem to have the coils on the right place for my phone. So no wireless charging possibilities for a Pixel 8 Pro. So if you have that one, you will probably be disappointed. 2 cup holders with a removable compartment, probably to be able to clean it easily. That's smart. And underneath here, a fairly deep and big storage with some extra storage bins you can place in 2 different positions here. But good storage, no USB-C ports on that compartment, but you have 2 here underneath and 2 at the back, at the rear, so 4 USB-C ports. When it comes to storage, we have fairly big storage compartments in the door pockets with fabric inlays. You have a glove box, traditional glove box with a good amount of storage. So to the seats and the driver position, really find it nice in here. As a driver, I feel that the seats are really nice. More to the sporty side. This is the art velour color combination and materials. Almost gives you a Nubuki feel. Perforated seats, ventilated, heated, and also comes with massage. This is part of the extended interior package, but really nice massage. And the good thing is that it's a bit tougher and rougher than the air pillow massage. This feels more prominent. Really impressed by it actually. And the seats as such gives you good support without being too soft. More to the sporty side, but in a very good way. You have good side bolsterings, both here at the backrest and at the seating position. Adjustable thigh support, even if it's manual, it's still really good to have and see that that one exists. 2-axis lumbar support, Y and X, fully electric. Powered seats with 2 memory slots and a button here at the side for starting and stopping the massage. When it comes to the headrests, they are only adjustable height-wise. You press the button here at the side and you can lower it and raise it as you want, but you can't adjust it in a X-axis, unfortunately. But they are placed fairly good, not that soft, but gives you a good support anyway. Let's have a look at the steering wheel. This one looks the same as in the ID3, ID4 and ID5. The exact same design. That also means that you get the same kind of haptic control buttons on the both sides of the central part of the steering wheel. You can start and stop the steering wheel heater from the steering wheel, conveniently placed. Otherwise, they are and can be a bit hard to use and get used to, since it's a bit hard to navigate on top of them without looking at the actual steering wheel. Otherwise, works good and enough of functionality placed on the steering wheel. A good thing, a evolution in the right direction, is the removal of the screen on top of the steering column, instead now inside the dashboard. And that means that the gear selector is put in a better place than before, easier to reach, easier to operate, a lot more user-friendly than the old solution. So that's a good change. The Interior Plus package also comes with a premium sound system, in this case from Harman Kardon, 700 watts, 12 speakers, gives you a clear and crisp sound with a subwoofer in the back, in the boot, but it doesn't give you that punch if you want a heavy bass system. This is probably not the system you're looking for. It is decent. I wouldn't call it a premium system. This should be a standard system on such a expensive car. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that's the infotainment system. I have had a really troublesome experience with the software in the earlier models, with the smaller screens, slow feedback, lack of functionality, a lot of bugs. But I think this is one of the most important and best steps Volkswagen has made since they introduced their ID lineup. This is a move into the right direction. It's a big difference. Let's have a look. Let's start with the layout. I mean, this is kind of a dashboard, start screen, landing page. You can customize it and show information that you're interested in, because it acts like shortcuts. So you can deep dive into the service menu, for instance, or let's say consumption information. And this works really nice, and they utilize the whole part of the screen. Really good implementation here. The top part is kind of a dashboard, customizable, so you can actually choose which kinds of icons you want to have at the top, functions. Really nice. I have added a shortcut to the drive assist systems, for instance. The lower part consists of a static control panel for the AC, for instance, seat heating, climate control on and off, etc. This is the shortcut to the home screen. Here at the top left corner, you have a shortcut to the app drawer with all the applications available in the car. Nice feature. Spotify is now available and works really nice. Easy to control, and a fully functional Spotify implementation. You also have support for wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So you have a lot of opportunities and functionality available here at the new infotainment system. And I must say that it is a lot more responsive than the old systems. The layout is better. It's more functionality available. A big step in the right direction. You even have a couple of games, not that advanced, but still things you can do whilst charging, for instance. So this is really impressive compared to the old systems, and one of the biggest changes in the right direction from Volkswagen here. So enough of talking, it's time to take a drive and talk about the driving dynamics, the drive modes, the regenerative braking, the suspension, and the feeling of the car. Let's take a short break and talk about my newly released members function here on YouTube. As a member, you get early access to content. You get access to all my test data that I have created during all the tests and reviews I have done. On top of that, you also get unique emojis designed by me and priority replies on your comments. Most importantly, this is the best way of supporting my work and to help me staying independent. Thank you. If you're interested in things like cabin noise, charge speeds, consumption and range, you need to see my next video about the ID.7. Do you hear that beeping sound? That's the speed warning assist system. You need to deactivate that every time you jump into the car. I have created a shortcut for that one to save some time because it's really annoying. Good thing, it's easy to deactivate if you create a shortcut. Now, let's have a look at the different drive modes. There is a couple of drive modes, and as I said, I really miss the toggle button for the drive mode selector that I have on my ID3, where you quickly can toggle between drive modes. It's not possible here. You have it on top of the dashboard and the toolbar. Now I'm driving on Eco, so you have a couple of different drive modes: Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Individual. And I always recommend to use Individual. Set it to your favorite driving mode and use that one, because then you can do whatever you want and get the feeling you want to have in your car. The good thing is that this car is equipped with the DCC system, dynamic chassis control. That's actually active dampers. You can't lower or raise the car, but you can adjust the stiffness of the dampers, and there is a slider for doing that. So on the individual mode, you can manually set it. I think it's like 12 different levels of stiffness, where Sport is like number 10 out of 12 or 13, I'm not sure. But there is a lot of steps to change the stiffness of the suspension. And I think on the stiffest mode, it is not uncomfortable, not on highways. I prefer my suspensions as stiff as possible, or my dampers as stiff as possible. So that is a good addition to go for the DCC system. When running it on the stiffest level, it gets a bit, I don't know, it doesn't feel sporty, just feels very stiff. And it gets a bit uncomfortable, kind of stressful and harsh in the vertical travel, but it still leans sideways and gives you kind of a body roll despite running it on the stiffest mode, but it gets really stiff vertically. I would want it to be a bit more stiff when it comes to the body roll instead of only stiff vertically, but you can't get everything, you know. But still a very nice and comfortable suspension. For me, when running it on Comfort, it gets a bit too soft, but if you're into a soft driving experience, this may be the right setting for you. But my individual selection is set the suspension to Sport, not the highest level, but around 10. The steering to Sport, the drive to Sport, of course. Exterior engine sound, I'm not sure, but Sport sounds good. And the adaptive cruise control to Comfort, light assistance Comfort, air conditioning Comfort. So the different drive modes is good to have, and a nice addition. And when it comes to Eco, feels like you lose a bit of a power, but also it limits the air conditioning within the cabin. It works on less power to preserve some energy. And Comfort sets the suspension to the softest mode. The steering wheel gets comfy, very light steering wheel in this car, extremely light and extremely precise. So the smallest amount of steering actually affects the direction of the car. So it's very precise, maybe a bit too direct sometimes, but I mean, it's easy to use, and the car is really easy to control. One thing about the rear wheel drive is that it is really not optimal on this kind of conditions, because it's really struggles to keep the torque to the ground. It spins a lot compared to four-wheel drive cars, because it's still a heavy car and it's very long, so it's easy to lose the rear end of the car. especially if you turn off the ECC system. That's fun to do, especially on slippery roads. You can have fun with it. Turn it off, enter sport mode, and you can do some donuts in the snow. So the power is enough, 286 horsepower, 545 Newton meters of torque, but that combined with cold weather, icy roads, doesn't really give you the amount of grip that you wish for. I really miss four-wheel drive on this car. So if you ask me, I would go for the big battery pack, all-wheel drive, and you will have a blast. You will have a really nice car. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a really nice car, but only rear-wheel drive with such a long car, it's a bit hard in countries like Sweden. I think four-wheel drive is necessary for this car, especially if you don't live inside a city, a big city. Let's talk about the regeneration levels. And as usual, the ID cars only have one option when it comes to changing the amount of regen, and that's on the steering column, the gear selector. You have something called D for drive and B for brake. So brake is also kind of a driving, but the meaning of that one is that when you enter the B mode, you enter the regenerative mode, and it actually maximizes the possibilities of adding regeneration whilst driving. The sad thing though is that there is still no one pedal driving. And this is one of the biggest complaints I have about this car. I really think that one pedal driving is something every single electric car should have. I think that's the best thing that has happened since the introduction of cars. One pedal driving, so important aspect. So it really does not come to a full stop. It stops rolling and it's not that aggressive. I mean, it stops rolling around 8-7 kilometers. Not a full stop. And that's sad because I missed that one. And I really hope that that will be available, a real one pedal drive, at least for the four-wheel drive versions. That would make a lot of sense, since you have two motors braking for you, regenerating energy. I have a question for the AI system, IDA or IDA. Let's try. What is the turning radius of Volkswagen ID7?
According to Electrek.co, despite being almost 5 meters long, the ID7 is surprisingly agile, with a turning radius of 10.8 meters.
Seems to work. So 10.8 meters. That's really good for such a long car. And you feel it. It's easy to maneuver despite being that long. I mean, that might change a bit if you go for the four-wheel drive version, since you have a motor at the front in that case. But for this version, it is really nice. And for me, this is really a highway driving car for traveling long distances. It's really nice. It gets a bit harsh though in sport mode, traveling over bumps. I still prefer that mode over the comfort mode. So I think that's all about the driving experience. And I think this is really a big leap in the right direction from Volkswagen here. The MAB Plus platform now has a bit more decent charging, a lot more powerful rear motor, more torque, more horsepower. It's also more efficient, giving you more range. That's a nice equation to solve. I mean, adding power, but still cramping out more range from the same battery pack. That's really nice. And in the future, it will also be available with a bigger battery pack of 86 kilowatt hours that will add a lot of more range. So we get more range, better charge curve, more power if you go for the four-wheel drive version. I see this like kind of a version 1.5 for electric cars from Volkswagen, where the normal MEB platform with the old motors is the 1.0. This is the 1.5, and it's really going in the right direction, and will be really exciting to see how Volkswagen manages to create more models based on this platform and the newer platform. Looking forward to that. Especially the wagon version of this one. That will be a car that probably sells really good, because there will be a lot of added practicality to that version, the bigger boot. I also think that car will look a bit better than this one does. Maybe look a bit more sporty. When it comes to the price point, this car, the specific car I'm driving now, costs 700,000 Swedish crowns, or 63,000 euros in Germany. That is not cheap, but it's the Pro version with all the equipment you can get, approximately. I mean, the bigger wheels, the interior package, the exterior package, the DCC add-ons, etc., the glass roof, so you get everything you want. You have all the equipment you need. So 700,000 Swedish crowns. The entry price of this car with less equipment is 650,000 Swedish crowns, or 57,000 euros. So that's the entry price level of this car. It's not cheap. It is not extremely expensive either. This is a premium car from Volkswagen, and it is a highway driving car for long distances with good efficiency, high efficiency, long range, a really high level of comfort. So what do you think about this car? Will this be the game changer, or the car that really adds and takes Volkswagen's EV sales and EV cars to the next level? The transition, the big transition that Volkswagen is going through now. I'm really not sure, but I think that the price point still is a bit too high compared to other cars, and that the exterior looks is a bit too dull and too anonymous. But on the other hand, I really think that this is a great evolution in the right direction. I mean, the high efficiency, the longer range, the quality added to the interior, the drive feeling, the comfort of the car, the silence. It's a lot of things that's in the right direction now. And I hope that this will be a successful release for Volkswagen, and that it will sell in good volumes. Let's hope so. What do you think about this car? Let me know in the comments below. Please score it from 1 to 10 and share your thoughts. Would be great to see. Otherwise, I think that's all for today. And as I always say, like, subscribe, and engage. And most importantly, stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.